All right, Facebook Live, how we doing? It's Ryan Otteson here again. I'm testing out some, I like that. Rotate your phone while recording. Oh, look at that. It even tells you. All right. Excellent. So listen, it's the first time I've rolled a video around and I want to see what it looked like. Let me back this up because I want you to see Dave Ramsey. Boom, right? What does that mean? If we're Dave Ramsey, we're here and we're talking about VA home loans. This is my buddy Cole Strange. You can find him online at the va.guru. I say it again, va.guru. So Jackson Snedeker, what's up, War Dog? Just so you know, I guarantee that he's got an itchy trigger finger right now. All that stuff with Iran's got you moving. It's Mr. Snedeker. I love it. Warfighter Marine down in Pendleton right now.
Thank you.
So VA home loan, what is it? I've used it and I can do a pretty good job explaining it, but you call yourself the VA guru. Tell me why you're the guru, Cole Strange.
Well, if you were to look at the VA handbook, it would be about that thick. And from time to time, when I'm just looking for some leisure reading, I'll pop that thing open and start reading around. So I've read the handbook from front to cover a couple of times, and then as the loan guidelines update, I'll go ahead and read those as well.
Okay, so awesome thing about this is, in my spare time, I don't read regulations that big. What I actually do is I put spreadsheets together to value assets because that's fun for me, right? So talk to me. It's not actually a home loan.
Yeah.
It's a home loan guarantee.
Sure.
What's the difference?
Okay. Well, what the Veterans Administration is doing is they're guaranteeing the loan, a certain portion of the loan, to the lender. So if you're getting a conventional loan.
So let me stop.
Yeah.
So what you said was the home loan guarantee guarantees the lender, if God forbid the borrower ever goes into foreclosure, a percentage of the loan.
Correct. Yes.
Which makes the borrower a stronger borrower.
Right.
So you still have to go get a mortgage from somewhere.
Sure. So
which is why we're talking to you.
Right.
Because you happen to be a veteran.
Right.
What branch?
Army.
Nobody's perfect.
Okay.
See how I set you up like that? All right. So we have a veteran.
Yeah.
Calls himself the VA guru.
Yeah.
And you understand that they're going to have to go to somebody to get a loan.
Sure.
And then we qualify them and we get their home loan guarantee certificate first. That's step one.
You get a certificate of eligibility from
Right.
the Veterans Administration. And what that does is it tells the veteran that they can go to the lender and tell them, hey, I'm eligible for a VA loan. Doesn't necessarily mean that they're going to be qualified for a VA loan.
Okay.
But it says, hey, rather than me needing to put at least 20% down in order to avoid the mortgage insurance, the Veterans Administration is going to guarantee 25% of that loan so that I can finance 100% of my purchase.
There it is.
So that there's no mortgage insurance on the loan. The Veterans Administration is going to come in and guarantee that portion to the lender.
Sure. So some veterans, though, they hear, oh, I get a VA home loan, almost like it's a guaranteed loan, but it's not.
Right.
They still have to qualify.
Yep.
And there's a maximum dollar amount that you could qualify when you go to borrow a loan.
Sure.
This allows you to do 100% financing without having PMI insurance.
Right, yeah. So one of the biggest distinctions and areas of confusion for a vet is, hey, I'm eligible for a VA loan, so why aren't you giving it to me?
Right.
And that's because they need to get qualified. And so you're talking about a veteran could be eligible to make a purchase with 100% financing. They still need to have credit.
Okay.
They still need to have income.
Good credit.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Right,
Well,
yeah.
is there a credit score for the VA home loan
Yeah.
eligibility?
So the VA does not have a minimum credit score requirement.
Okay.
It's actually one of the things that I like a lot about the VA loan is that every veteran the lender is supposed to look at every veteran on an individual basis and make a determination on whether or not they're a decent credit risk for the lender to take out. 9 times out of 10, that's gonna cut off somewhere in the high 5s to low 6s.
Okay.
But it doesn't mean that a veteran couldn't get a VA loan if they had lower credit. But if you got a credit score lower than that, there's a reason.
Sure.
So if you're getting approved for a mortgage, there better be a good reason for the lender extending credit to somebody like that. At the end of the day, we don't want to put a veteran into a worse position than they're already in financially.
Correct. So interesting that you paused for a moment because you're about to go off on a tangent.
Yeah.
So let me just clarify something else.
Sure.
Not only is Cole Strange, Mr. Ruben, how you doing? And Sylvie, how you doing? If we're looking at a VA, right?
Yeah.
You're a vet.
Yeah.
We're looking at a home loan.
Yeah.
But you financially care.
You financially care.
You financially care. You care about the vet's finances.
Yeah.
You don't want to just bury them in a mortgage.
No.
Okay. No. Well, let's be real.
Yeah.
How do you keep your lights on?
I give people mortgages.
You give people mortgages,
Yeah,
right?
Sure.
So the incentive for you is to do the loan.
Yeah.
So if you're not going to give somebody a loan, essentially you're not making money.
Sure.
Right? So you're going to go through the same process and then say, hey, potentially this is a bad idea.
Right.
Okay, the reason I brought that up is I know that's why I started with pointing at Dave Ramsey, right?
Sure.
How many Dave Ramsey coaches are out there?
It's a good question. I actually don't
Less
know.
than 500? Right around 500?
Yeah, let's say yes. There's not many.
What's the official title?
Ramsey Coach, Financial Master Trainer.
So you're a master trainer for Dave Ramsey.
Sure.
Right.
Yeah.
It's important.
Yeah.
Right. Because not only do you look at the veteran, right? You are one, right? But then you look at financially, is this the best move? How do we continue to take care of each other once we get out, right? And you're saying, hey, instead of just burying you in debt or piping you for a higher rate so I make more money, I'm saying this might not be the best time for you just yet.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely like an altruistic part to that because I don't want people to get into a home that they can't afford.
Right.
But our business is also based off of referral and good experiences. And so if we put somebody into a home that can't afford it and 3-6 months down the road, they're put in a spot where, hey, do I put food on the table for my family? Or do I pay the mortgage? Like, that's not a great experience. So in the short term, maybe it's frustrating for the veteran, but in the long term, we're putting them into a position where we know that financially they can afford the home. It's just the right way to do it.
That's weird. So it's almost like veterans are taking care of veterans.
Yeah,
That's the way it should be.
Yeah.
Okay.
Definitely.
Listen, I love
and
it.
you can manipulate the system. Like, I know how to, manipulate things and make it work, like all legally
So
and
you know
compliantly
it's
and everything.
digital world now.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
you just
Right,
confess
right.
that you know how to. Yeah.
Sure, like there's ways to get loans done.
Sure,
and
of
I
course.
know how to, find reserves from the veteran or whatever it might be to get the system to trigger an approval.
Sure.
But if you're having to do that to get somebody into a home, one of my coaches and people that I admire in the industry has said, just because we can doesn't necessarily mean that we should.
Yeah, we should, right?
So giving people, at the end of the day, it's their decision to make. If we can get them approved, it's their decision to make on whether or not they want to purchase the home. But we always want to give them very good, strong advice on, what it is that they're getting themselves into and making sure that they're in a sustainable position.
So let me throw you a softball.
Okay.
All right. So if you come across a veteran,
Sure.
and they're not able to immediately get qualified to purchase a home, do you throw them in the gutter and go find another? Right?
Mhm.
That's an old NWA song right there, Cole.
Yeah.
Or do you put them on a pathway that says, hey, look, we know you really want this.
Yep.
Here are some things that you can do in order to get down that road.
Yeah.
Tell me what you do.
So it's a softball.
Don't tell me, tell them.
Yeah. So that is a softball.
Yeah.
I always tell people I'm not going to want their home more than they want their home. So as hard as they're willing to work on making their purchase and getting themselves into a position where they can purchase a home, that's as hard as I'm willing to work. Like,
Sure.
if you come to me and you haven't paid a bill on time in the past 6 months, that's okay. If you're willing to do the work and put yourself into a position so that 6 months to 9 months, maybe it's a year down the road, you are in that position to make a purchase, great. But I'm not going to chase you down and fight you in order to have
To do
you
that.
change your habits.
Yeah,
So,
I get that. So, Janet, Eric, how you guys doing? Thanks for tuning in. I appreciate it. We're here with Cole Strange. I know, Janet, you know Cole.
Hi,
Eric,
Janet.
I think you might have saw Cole at a training camp. But anyways, we're having a quick conversation about the VA home loan and what that looks like. You actually wanted to say something to me about the loan limits going up.
Sure.
Tell me what that means.
Well, there are no loan limits, so
they went up.
I guess they've gone up exponentially.
But
Yeah,
that used to be the question,
Yeah,
right? Hey,
sure.
what are the loan limits going up?
Yep, yep.
And the answer is,
Yeah,
all
right.
the way. So what does that mean? No more loan limits.
Yeah, so prior to this year, so in 2019, the loan limits, conforming loan limits were in the high 400s, 484,000. I'm already like forgetting about it because
Sure.
we're now in 2020. But previously, if you're buying in San Bernardino or Riverside County, the loan limits were $484,000.
So that's
For
the
a-
maximum.
No, for 100% financing.
There you
So
go.
that's the important distinction.
Okay.
And what would happen previously is, let's say, I'll make the math easy on myself. You were a vet and you wanted to buy a house at $584,000. So you're $100,000 over. 25% of 100,000 is 25 grand. So you'd make a down payment of 25,000 if you were trying to purchase a home with the VA loan at 584. Now, what the VA has come out and said, and this is where it gets pretty exciting and cool, is that there are no loan limits. So in theory,
Love that.
for 100% financing. So of course, going back to eligibility and qualification. Just because the VA will do it doesn't necessarily mean that you'd be qualified, but if you have income to support, the loan limits now, conforming loan limits are now $510,000 in San Bernardino and Riverside. But a veteran could go into San Bernardino or Riverside and make a purchase for $550,000 and finance 100% of that. So there's no limit now on the 100% financing as long as the veteran has the income to support what the mortgage payment would be.
So pro and con, and don't even pro and con for me. Tell me,
Sure.
do you like it or not like it?
I like it. Like at the
Okay.
end of the day, we don't want to overextend veterans. So that's always the concern is,
Sure.
hey, you finance a house with 100%. Yes, it's guaranteed by the Veterans Administration. So, just make sure that you know what you're getting yourself into. And Mr. DeMott was sending us a text message there.
Love that, Brian DeMont.
Yeah. So if you're making a purchase with 100% financing, we just want to make sure that it's a monthly payment that you can afford.
Okay, so let me ask you this. My brain immediately goes 100 different directions. Does my VA disability, don't answer the question, can I use that as income to help me get qualified to purchase a home? Can I buy units? If so, how many units?
Yeah.
There's a bunch of other questions that I might have
Sure.
and the other veterans on here might have. So could I steal more of your time, maybe every Friday, twice a week, and sit down here and walk through what this means?
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
Every Friday.
So
let's do it.
between now and then, if you have questions, just type them up, right? Hey, you like that, Emmy? Hey, just type them up real quick. Put them below, whatever the questions you might have. That way we can get them answered, get prepped. But if not, listen, I want to know, what can we do out there? How many units can we buy and how many can we cash flow and what does that look like?
Sweet.
Is that even possible?
Yeah.
So Cole Strange, tell them where they can find you or get a hold of you if they want to contact you directly.
Easiest way is just to call or text message me, 626-255-5414. You can email me if you want. It's my first name, Cole, C-O-L-E, .strange, just like the doctor, at churchillmortgage.com. It's like Winston Churchill.
And the doctor is always in.
Yeah.
And the doctor's in. Hey, I appreciate you guys' time. Thank you for those of you that clicked on really quick. Hold on, Jackson, you're my dog. You get your question right here. Is there a limit to the number of times I can use the loan?
No.
That's the quick answer. However, you have to pay the loan off before you can use it again.
Right.
So you can use it to acquire a house, refinance out of it, and use it again.
Yeah, so that's a case-by-case thing. So in theory, like going to entitlement eligibility, he could, let's say he bought a house for $200,000 in, I'll say Fort Benning, Georgia, right?
Don't do that. Say he bought a house for $300,000 outside, bought a condo, young Marine, gonna re-enlist, little warfighter. This is like a family member right here, right? So he wants to buy a condo outside of base and live there, and then when he gets stationed in Japan, he can rent it out or refinance it.
Yeah. So he could, if
come on.
He's got entitlement and eligibility if he bought it $200,000 or $300,000, where he actually wouldn't need to pay off the loan. So the short answer to how many times can I use my VA loan? The short answer is an unlimited number of times, but it depends if you have entitlement that's currently tied up in another property.
Sure.
You could be limited with how much you can finance at 100%. So everybody's got a different situation. So best case is, yes, it's an unlimited amount of times, but depending on your scenario, you might not be able to do it multiple times. So give us a call and then I can explain for your particular scenario.
Joe, what's going on, buddy? I appreciate it. Jackson, you know how to get a hold of me, man. So if you got more questions or you want to do something, let me know. If it's lending stuff, you can jump right to Cole Direct. Let's get together again next week. No, you're going to Tennessee.
Yeah. No, I'm going to Oregon.
Where are you going to Oregon?
I'm visiting my buddy John, another Marine. I can't stay away from him.
Big Daddy John Harsh. Love him right there. Okay, so John, if you're watching, sorry I'm not coming. You and I'm told we're not allowed to party again in the same city. Almost burned it down the last time. So, John, I love you. My vets, I love you guys too. Cole, your time, your energy. I appreciate you, man. Thank you very much. And 2 weeks from now, we'll be back on there. Jackson, let us know if you need anything. Bye.
Bye.